I can't stand it when people say,
Oh, Gen Z is so lazy, just work harder and
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you can
buy a house.
easy for you to say, baby boomer, you could work a minimum wage 3-month summer job and have enough money to pay for a full year of college tuition. You literally entered the workforce during a so-called economic jackpot. Wages were rising, college was cheaper, healthcare was cheaper, you could buy a house on a normal salary. While us young people entered the workforce following the Great Recession and a literal
global pandemic.
The cost of literally everything has exploded while wages have barely changed, and because of that, millennials have twice the debt that boomers had at the same age. Not to mention, boomers are the wealthiest generation, and they didn't even work for a third of that wealth, because a third of that wealth is just home equity. So congratulations, baby boomers, on being born at the right time. But guess what? My generation is not the first to fight for a more just economy, and we definitely will not be the last. If the economy worked once for an entire generation, then it can work again. It just has to work for everyone this time.
The financial game is changing, and if you don't know this and don't adapt, you will be left behind. It is harder now than ever to do simple things like survive, pay your bills, buy a home. And the reasoning behind that is everything is becoming more expensive, and we're not making enough money to counteract those changes. If you don't believe me, just take a look at these video examples as we see the brutal reality of just trying to survive in 2026.
Life has gotten so expensive that it's not even worth trying to be frugal anymore. There's no point. You want a crashing out video about cost of living? Here's a crashing out video. So last month, our water bill was pretty high, $217 for the month. It was the highest I've ever had. I'm like, okay, let me look into this. Our usage was a little high. So I talked to my girlfriend. I say, let's try to conserve water. We did everything right. For the entire month, we turned off the sink while we were doing our dishes. We took short showers. I even used a timer during my showers. We consolidated loads of laundry. We did everything we could to save water. And you know what? We did a damn good job. We saved 500 gallons, which is awesome. You know, that is a great improvement. You want to guess how much my water bill was for this month? $215. We used 500 gallons less, and I saved $2 whole. Are you actually for real right now? But Zach, how could this be? The fees and the taxes went up so much in the course of 1 month. That's all we saved. So what's the point? Why am I being frugal about it? Doesn't make any sense. Just 5 years ago, my water bill was $130 a month. Granted, it was just myself. Now we're 2 people. I get it. It's going to go up, but come on. There is no such thing as saving money here anymore. There is no such thing as getting ahead, putting together a retirement. None of that. It is impossible. I don't know about you, but I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think anybody can afford anything anymore, and it's getting scary. So, yeah.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her 1-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that 1-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment. You got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them, for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant, okay? So there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me off.
It's not the overspending, it's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen Z and millennials' cost of living in today's world. So number 1 is rent. Everyone knows that Gen Z and millennials have to have a roommate. So splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with utilities is around $1,500. If you have a car, a $12,000 to $15,000 used car is still going to run you $400 a month. Car insurance and gas is another $300. Student loan payment, $500. You're going to have groceries for $500. You're going to have personal care, doctor's appointments, hair, gym, about $150, and then cell phone and miscellaneous $150. That's $3,500 a month, which is baseline. Do you know how much $3,500 a month is? $70,000 a year, or $34 an hour. Because after you take out taxes, put $300 for health insurance, and do a healthy $500 401k contribution, that leaves you with $3,500. This is no fun, no savings, no maintenance, no clothes, no kids, no traveling, no vacations, no bachelor parties, no weddings, no funerals, no clothes, no school supplies, nothing. And this is paycheck to paycheck. And on top of it, they're holding $40,000 of student loan debt, a $15,000 car, and if they ever wanted to buy a house with closing costs and the down payments, another $50,000. So they need $105,000. So even if they were somehow able to scrounge up after $70,000 of paycheck to paycheck, $5,000 to go to a concert, to have avocado toast, whatever it is, $5,000 a year, it would take them 20 years to pay off this debt and save up for a house. 20 years of living with the roommate where that rent's going up, and they're making $70,000 a year as a college graduate. The average person in this country makes $50,000. It is not the overspending. It is a cost of living crisis.
This economy is so bad, you'll be sitting here thinking you're bad with money, and all you did was buy food. That's it. And not luxury food, regular food, just survival items. You check your bank account like, who did this? It was eggs. Eggs did this. You didn't splurge. You didn't treat yourself. You just needed to eat more than once a day. Groceries used to be a neutral experience, just a regular part of life. Now it's a financial event. You walk into the store calm, and you walk out like you made a series of reckless choices. Just one bag, $80, no explanation. Okay, and the worst part is the math you got to do. You're like, okay, if I just don't eat out for 2 weeks, why is food being framed as a hobby? People give advice like, you just budget better. For what, air? I love when banks send the alerts like, you spent more than usual on groceries. Yeah, I noticed. I was there. Okay, at this point, I'm not bad with money. Money is bad with me. Okay, if I say I'm saving this month, what I really mean is I'm choosing which meals to skip.
Seattle is ranked as the number 13 most expensive city. Here is how much some things cost me to live here. So a 12-ounce oat milk latte is $7.06. Getting my eyebrows threaded is $12. A manicure, just gel manicure, costs $38. Eggs are about $6.99 for those fancy eggs, up to $11. Filling up my gas here is expensive and I have to buy premium. It was $92.40. Yikes. My mortgage is $3,800. A smoothie is $11. Gonna stop buying those. Flowers from the public market, $20 for a good bouquet. That's actually pretty good. And the fanciest dinner that you could get at a nice restaurant with wine, appetizers, everything, dessert, $213.
Why is no one talking about how serious the cost of living actually is? So we pay like a really cheap amount of rent compared to like all the other rent I see. And we're a family of 6. We pay $9.50 rent. That's cheap. We're in Missouri. It's like not some nice new place or anything. It was actually built in 1890. My husband is working 3 jobs right now. We buy absolutely nothing that we don't need. And we actually go without a lot of things that we actually do need. I feel like if you're able to do anything that's not just surviving, then you got it good. I feel so sad that I didn't appreciate the times where we were able to actually have fun at this point. So much has changed in the past few years. Like, what? I just really, really want to know. How is everyone surviving? Is everyone working like 24/7? Because that's what my husband does, and I'm just home with my little kids all the time. It's kind of like depressing that we're never together as a family, so I don't know. I hope one day we can be, but it sucks.
I'm going to explain to you guys how much more expensive things are today than they were even 3 years ago based off of my current financial situation. So 4 years ago, when I graduated law school, I graduated making $65,000 a year. I was living in a 1-bedroom by myself, paying $1,400 a month. After the first 3 months, my boyfriend moved in, and so then we were splitting it, so it was $700 apiece. But he lost his job at one point, and so for 3 months before he got a new one, I was covering the rent all by myself. So it was about 6 months of me paying $1,400 a month for that year-long lease. Now I make about $85,000 a year. I have 2 roommates, and we split the rent 3 ways. And usually my rent is like $950, something around that. So I'm making technically $20 more thousand a year. I'm paying roughly the same of what I was paying in rent. And I have never been more stressed out about money in my entire life.
It is impossible to save right now. This is coming from somebody who's a really good saver. The fact that I have done less this year and yet I still have nothing to save is wild to me. I don't go out to eat, I don't get drinks. This is the least I've ever traveled. Shopping sprees are very far and few between. Also, I'm spending less money on rent, and yet every single one of my paychecks is going towards some sort of bill, an adult related thing I don't want to pay for, like insurance, my car repair, maintenance on my HVAC. I mean, I feel like the list is endless. Long story short, everything costs too much. There's so many hidden fees, so unless you ask for an itemized report of what exactly you've been charged for, you're probably paying more than you're actually supposed to. Companies want to pay you less, the cost of living is rising. As an example, the way that I used to make $3,000 a month when I graduated college, and yet I was still able to save about $1,000 a month, I can't do that anymore. Ways that I could stretch $100 when I was in college does not go far now. Honestly, if you can, move home with your parents. Pick up a side job. It's only gonna get worse before it gets better. What really enrages me is when the economy is up, the prices go up, and then they never come down. And even when the economy is not doing good, those prices never come down. And guess who suffers? All of us. If anyone has a good side hustle that doesn't take money to start, let me know, because I think we are all struggling and it would be really helpful. Bye.
I don't know about you, but I no longer want to live in this world that asks for so much and gives so little in return. Groceries feel like a luxury. 9 to 5, climb the corporate ladder and stare at a screen all day? Bullshit. 2 weeks off a year? Bullshit. White picket fence dream? Bullshit. Retirement age 65, if you even make it that far. And if you do, you'll just spend your pension on medical care. Bullshit. Toxins, chemicals, pesticides on our foods, in our air, our water, those industries profiting off people getting unwell, and no cure for the C word. Fat fucking bullshit. I will never ever be able to wrap my head around why people defend this way of living. By choice, too. This is not living, this is surviving.
One thing I realized is that no amount of budgeting in 2026 is going to protect you from the absolute onslaught of expenses that every single day life is. Like, I encourage you to do it. Try to set a budget. I promise you, you will be over it by 10 a.m. I've tried. And this is what it looks like. You wake up, you're like, oh, I'm out of coffee beans, so I got to get more coffee beans. Then I go to the store and I'm like, well, while I'm at the store, I might as well get a banana. And then I get a banana and coffee beans and it still somehow winds up being $97. And then I get back to my apartment and I'm like, okay, I'm really done spending money for the day. And I open up my email and I have an email from Spectrum and it's like, bleh, and I'm just like, $100. Then I'm like, okay, really, I'm done for the day. And then I remember I still have to book a flight for a bachelor party that I agreed to 6 months ago that I don't even really want to go to. $800. Then I'm like, okay, no, really, I'm done for the day. Oh, that's right, you're out of toothpaste. Go order some toothpaste. And while I'm ordering some toothpaste, I'm going to need some mouth tape because I'm also out of that. And if I don't sleep well, I'm going to off myself. And then you slowly come to the realization that literally every single waking minute of your life, somebody's trying to extract value out of you. So make sure you buy my course if you want to learn about budgetary health in 2026.
$17.33. That's how much I paid today for this coffee. I'm here and I'm just adding some numbers together and doing my budget because you know what? Today I asked my husband, where's the money? We're making the best we've ever made. Both earners, both incomes, good incomes and everything. And we don't have money. We're living paycheck to paycheck basically. So I put the numbers together and I decided to look at my budget. On June the 2nd, 2023, and I'm going to try to insert somewhere here the photo I took a shot of, how much I paid for it. On June the 2nd, 2023, the same exact coffee was $9.92. It's almost doubled in 2 years. Of course, my salary hasn't doubled. My income has not doubled. It went up a little bit, but certainly nowhere near that. And I don't know where my money goes. Every month, I'm struggling.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't, because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription. Everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money, and yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me, and they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes, and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor, and I have been extremely wealthy, and I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
I'm an American. I pay $1,600 for a flat that has no bedroom. That's 2/3 of my income. I'm an American. I work 50 hours a week. I don't have health insurance. I'm an American. I couldn't afford to have a child even if I wanted to. I'm $7,000 in debt. I'm an American. My health is declining because I can't afford Whole Foods because that's too expensive for my life. I am very overqualified for my job and no one else is hiring. I'm an American. I make my boss hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, while I can barely keep myself alive. I'm an American. I have never been out of the States. I have never been on a vacation. I'm an American. I make 20-some dollars an hour. A livable wage here is like 30-some. Yet I don't qualify for government assistance whatsoever. On the days I don't work, I'm so tired I just sleep all day. I'm an American. My electric bill is so expensive I sit outside in the heat because I can't afford to turn the AC on in the damn house. I'm an American, and I fear I'm just an average American. I'm living the American dream.
In 2 months, it's going to become completely unaffordable to live in the United States. And I'm not talking about luxury lifestyle. I'm talking about basic middle-class needs. I run a relocation business out of Costa Rica. I asked my clients, who are a couple from Bushwick, Brooklyn, why they were thinking of moving abroad. They sent me their monthly budget spreadsheet. So combined, they make $120,000 a year. And from that, they get to bring home about $7,400 a month after taxes. Their rent is $3,100 a month. And their health insurance is about to skyrocket to $1,750. They budget about $1,000 a month for groceries. Their utilities, internet, cell phones, and MetroCard are another $1,300 or so. So at the end of the month, this leaves them with about $250. And that doesn't include any unexpected expenses or the hope for investments or the hope for a savings account. So what they said to me is that this is what running in place feels like. And the reason that they want to move abroad is because they actually want to move forward with their lives.